On that happy note, leading Southeast Asian discount airline AirAsia has announced a kickoff of flights from France to Malaysia starting next year. But instead of flying to Paris, the long-haul route is going to take passengers from Kuala Lumpur to Nice because the company claims Air France KLM is blocking them from getting to the capital. That's what we're hearing. Let's check in with Tony Fernandez, CEO of AirAsia in Kuala Lumpur today. And, of course, David Roach stays with us here in Hong Kong from Independent Strategy. Hi, Tony. You're going to Nice.
Hey, Bernie. How you doing?
That's a beautiful place. How much demand is there to fly from KL to Nice and vice versa, honestly?
Well, I think there's a huge amount of demand. We're not doing it anytime soon, but that would be our first point of call. But you've got the whole of south of France, you've got Geneva just a couple of hours away, and you're a few hours away from Milan. So AirAsia is innovative in the way we look at destinations, not traditional in just looking at the point-to-point market. We're really serving the whole of south of France, a bit of Italy and Switzerland.
Tell me, is it true that Air France KLM was the big barrier that could not be overcome? This sounds really, really protectionist.
Well, I didn't say that, but we are struggling to get routes to Paris, and KLM flies to Kuala Lumpur as well.
And tell me how things are doing. You're just fresh off a rather large placement of stock to raise money to pay off debt. Has that worked out to a T for you, or is there more capital needs, more capital fundraising ahead?
No, it's worked out great. We had a fantastic roadshow, huge demand for what we wanted, so we raised 500 million ringgit. It's exactly, it's only our second time we've been to the market, first time being the IPO in 2004. Our gearing is going to come down quite substantially. Business is very strong. Ancillary income's growing. Oil price has come off substantially. And so we're feeling that we don't see ourselves needing capital for a long, long time.
Okay, so no plans. I mean, can you promise me in the next year or two that this is not a temporary fix, that you're not going to be back in the market, tin cup, begging, crouching position in hand to the markets?
I mean, gearing's already at 2.5. No. Absolutely. Put it on tape.
It's live.
It is.
We don't have it on tape. Tape is very last year. How are you doing with your expansion of your fleet? Because I got to tell you, some people, you burn their eyebrows off when you talk about the hundreds of or 100-plus Airbuses that you're going to be buying when everybody is parking those rusting old hulks in the middle of the Great Sandy Desert or wherever it is they send them.
Well, demand has been very, very good. We're looking at taking 16 planes next year. That's a reduction of 8. Due to the fact that we're not convinced about the airport. We continue to outgrow capacity. The last 2 quarters above 20%, and this quarter is looking very strong as well in terms of passenger growth, even though it's our softest quarter. So demand is good, and we're just now starting into India, which has been very exciting. We've got new bases in Phuket and Bali are doing extremely well. So 2011, we'll probably slice off some aircraft again because we're just not convinced that the LCCT, the new development, that Malaysian airports are doing will be ready in time, and we have to have an 18-month lead time. So I anticipate probably another 8 aircraft reduced in 2011.
Okay,
but not due to
say hi
demand.
to David. Tony, say hi to David Roach, my good friend.
Hey,
here.
Tony. Listen, Tony, I want to ask you a quick question because I don't know much about running an airline, or I'd probably be a successful person like you. But is this the only example of a long-haul discount airliner?
Yeah, I mean, AirAsia X, I think, in the way that we have it, is the only true long-haul, low-cost carrier. As I've said many times, it's AirAsia on steroids. Why does it work? Because we've really taken the AirAsia model and just extended it to a long-haul model. Plus, AirAsia X has the benefit of AirAsia feeding into it, and I think that's what's made it work, as opposed to many others who've started have not made it work.
Tony, I know you don't want to necessarily comment on other people's comments, but when you talk to the so-called premium carriers, they talk about reconfiguration. They talk about, okay, first is kind of dead because nobody wants to pay, $25,000 for a flight. They'd rather land with a little more money in their pockets. But will they go to a 2-class configuration? That sort of thing. They talk like, they might be able to whittle down the front of the cabin, but they're not going to get rid of it altogether because they don't want to cut the product. Are they barking up the wrong tree? Are they going to end up like you? Are you the only one that can work 10 years out, 20 years out with the new economy?
No, I think I've always said that. I mean, I think first class is a dead product. I've always said that for a long, long time. But I do think we're going to get airlines polarizing into 2 types. You're going to get premium airlines who focus on business class and maybe premium economy, and then airlines such as ours that take the mass market. I think airlines have generally been a destroyer of capital because they've tried to do too many things. You know, from economy to premium economy to business class to first class, you have 4 operating models within one aircraft, and I think that's why they've always struggled to make money. Whereas AirAsia is focused very much on one product and one type of model. So I think what's going to happen is you're going to get airlines who move upscale and forget about the back end of the plane, and airlines such as ours who focus more on the economy part of the market.
Okay, David.
Look, how does your model differ from Michael Ryan, a fellow Irishman like myself? I mean, his philosophy is to take out the toilets because he's not going to give people any food, and just kind of get the thing so basic. How is your model different from his, apart from being long haul and he being just short haul European?
Well, no, firstly, not to confuse it, we are 2 airlines. AirAsia is the short haul model, exactly like Ryanair. We're exactly the same. The only difference is I wouldn't charge for the toilets. I don't think you have an option at 36,000 feet. We charge for everything else that you have an option, but if you don't have an option, we wouldn't charge for you. So we're 100% Ryanair in that manner. AirAsia X is a separate company which does the long haul, and it's a symbiotic piece of the business for AirAsia. But we are Ryanair of Asia. I think we have a better product. We're nicer. We like to smile and we try and treat people well, and we won't charge for the toilets. But operationally, Ryanair's great, and we are there.
That's good to hear, because I'd hate to think I couldn't go somewhere with your airline because you won't let me go. Tony Fernandez.